Hey, what's going on guys, Darius here and welcome to a new tutorial, and in this tutorial we will be learning to do something like this. Now this is some really nice artwork from Firewatch, and it's a new upcoming game and you can check it out at firewatchgame.com. Now I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I'm just trying to teach you how this thing goes. This is just a great example of how the lasso tool in Photoshop is just an amazing tool, and you can do something so simple yet so cool. So I'm not sure who the artist is, but he did a great job. This is very basic, and it's mostly just about selecting things and filling them with color. We're going to learn some new stuff in Photoshop CC, like generating trees and using them as brushes, so we don't have to hand draw all the trees here. I'm going to teach you a bit of shading here, on the mountains, and yeah, let's see what we got. This is just a great method to get you started, get your art blood pumping, and to just have some fun, make something creative. Things don't have to be that complicated to be amazing. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is make a new file. So file new, and you can just select the width and the height that you want. I went for wallpaper size, my wallpaper size. Pixels, make sure it's pixels, RGB color, background colors doesn't matter because we're going to change that anyway. 8-bit, and okay, and you're going to have that. Right here I have already one prepared, and I'm going to use my crop tool here, to just make it a bit smaller. Press enter, and this is going to be my canvas. I'm going to fill it with the background color like in the image. The first thing that we need to do now, creative wise, is to get some colors, and I'm going to take the colors from this image. It has a really nice and warm feel to it. I like the values here, I like everything going on. So if I click on this tiny color block here, I get this color picker here, and I can just click on whenever I want, and it will take the color here. So I click on the first color here, and I add to swatches. And once you click this button, you can name your color, and it will add it here in the swatches panel. I already did this. So first click the image, click on the color on the image, then add to swatches, then click on the next step, and add to swatches on the next step, add to swatches, and see how it's getting lighter and lighter as we go further back, because we're sampling colors from this image. There's also online tools, that you get your color palette from the image. I'm sorry, my mouth is a bit dry. And you can just sample the colors with that one. You can see and download the palette. So I have them here. This is the first one, and it goes in a row, from darker to brighter. I'm going to change my background color right now. This is the background, my background layer. It's all white. I'm going to pick this one, the last color, which is the background color in this image. And now we can already start with our mountains and stuff here. So let's get started. You're going to have to grab your lasso tool, and let me just grab my tablet really quick. There we go. Now I'm on my tablet. You can also use the mouse, obviously. This doesn't require much skill, so go for it. And as in the image, you see that there's various sections, and each section is on a different layer. So the darkest one here is on one layer, and it's in front because it's the one in focus, and as it goes further away, there's this atmosphere, that makes things have some depth, and it slowly fades away, sort of like when you're looking at some mountains and they're all blue and hazy, so this haze, this fog is kind of covering up the details, so you're not exactly seeing the details on the mountain. So yeah, let's just start by making the first layer. Make a new layer here. There's a new layer button here, and just start making so like shaky kind of shapes here. This is gonna be your frontal shape. There we go. And now just move it around here, and there you go. You have a selection. Make sure that you select your paint bucket tool now, pick the darkest color, you know, that you sample from the image, and click here. There you go. There we go. Now you can also click here, select deselect, or press Ctrl and D on the keyboard. And we have our first layer here. So for the next step, we have to make another layer, but this time layer number 2 is going to be under layer number 1. So we don't actually go over this darker one. So just do the same process, just select like a shaky kind of mountain-y shape, you know. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. And just select the bottom area, and we have another selection. Bucket tool, and now we select the next color. And there we go. This is the next color that we added to our shape. Now we repeat the process with the others, just like this. Just going to do this again. Let me just make it a bit more precise, you know, a bit more edgy. There we go. There we go. Just slowly. And select the bottom area and fill it with the next color that you saved in your swatches. Now you have a lot of colors, you know, this can be green, for example. You can make a green forest, a green landscape. You can also move your landscape, you know, up and down, you know, the height, you can change it. Right now it's a bit smaller here. Let me just make it a bit wider. There we go. Press enter. And I'm gonna move it a bit down and save. I like that. And now I'm just make a new layer and do the same process. We don't have many of these to go, so I'm just going to move these up and down a bit, you know, so they fade out. So let me just grab layer 2, just put it a bit down, and layer number 3, 2, there we go. So it's a bit lower, you know. I want a pretty low horizon line. And now we can pass on to layer 4 and just start and grab our lasso tool and do the next step again. There we go. I'm gonna start from here now. There we go. And there we go. I'm gonna start making it a bit bigger, like here. Just a bit jaggedy, you know. Really important. There we go. Select the area. And fill it with the next color. Let's see, is it this one? Or is it this one? Okay, it's this one. So that looks pretty nice. I really like the result. Let me see if I can change something. I feel like these 3 lines are a bit too much like the same, you know. So I'm gonna grab layer 2, and I'm just going to add a bit of detail here. Just gonna make it a bit higher. And I'm going to grab my brush tool. Let me just reset my brushes here. There we go. So we have our default brushes. And I'm going to hold Alt and sample the color, make it a bit bigger, and just fill it in. Just going to grab my lasso tool again by pressing L, and just do the same changes, you know, with the other layers. Like layer 3, I want to cut from it, you know. There we go. So it's not like the others. Just delete, or you can add a layer mask if you want to, but I don't feel like it's necessary. These are just filled in shapes, so that looks pretty nice. I'm quite satisfied with it. Okay, now to add the last layer of these planes. There we go. Let me just select this area. There we go. Gonna go a bit under with these. A bit jagged, just like that. And gonna go a bit higher with this. There we go. Select the area and leave it. And now just fill it with the color. There we go. Let me just change the color here. Was it this one? I think it was this one. Yep, that one. Now we got a pretty nice landscape going on. Let's add some mountains. Let's check out some trees. Let me see if we can do some changes around here, you know, because we can always do revisions. There we go. I want to erase part of this frontal, the darkest, you know, layer. There we go. I wanted to have some variation, and just delete that. And there we go. We had some nice variation going on there. Very nice. I like it. Okay. Now let's pass on to the mountains in the background. So which tool are we going to use for the mountains? You guessed it, the lasso tool. Now mountains have a shape like this, like a very triangular shape, so we're going to make a new layer. And we're going to try to keep the triangular shape going on, but still make it a bit jagged, you know, so it has that texture to it, that detail. So just like this. There we go. And we're gonna probably do something like this here, you know, continuation. And there we go. This is our mountain shape, and we're going to grab our color here and fit it in. There we go. And oops, there's something wrong here. The mountain seems to blend with my 5th layer. That means I skipped a color. So I'm going to grab layer number 3, which is the layer that doesn't have the right color, and I'm going to click on this icon here. So I'm going to teach you in case it happens to you. This is the lock transparent pixels icon. See that how there's a lock there next to your layer? That means you can only color inside of the layer. So layer number 3, this is my layer number 3 here. I'm going to pick this color here. There we go. And fill it in. And see, now it makes more sense. And I'm going to do the same with the 4th. There we go. That should be the color. And this makes more sense now. There we go. And this should be number 5. And number 6 should be this one. The mountains. Oops. Let me just lock. And there you go. Now that makes obviously more sense. And I'm feeling it more. Let me just add some more mountains. You know, I'm going to unlock this. Gonna grab my lasso tool. You know, just add some more mountains here. Don't be shy with your mountains. There we go. Another shape there. Make sure that if you want to make more selections, you know, without it disappearing, you have to click on the 2nd icon here on top. So now let's add more mountains in the background. There we go. You can add some detail, you know, you don't have to be shy about your detail. Add some mountains here, you know, just leave it like that. There we go. And now we're going to grab our brush tool or your paint bucket tool. Gonna make it bigger and just fill it in with the color that I want. There we go. Just gonna brush them in. And there you have it. We have our mountains in the background. Let's pass on to shading on the mountains. So for shading, we're still going to use the lasso tool, but this time we're going to make a new layer above our mountains layer. Right click and create a clipping mask. And just like locking transparent pixels, you can only work inside of the mountain layer. So if we make a shape outside, it will still stay inside of the mountains. I'm just going to unlock this, and let's grab our lasso tool. And now we're going to select this color here, which is the brighter mountain thingy color, and we're just going to select a side, you know, where we know that the colors, that the light, sorry, is coming and hitting the mountain, you know. There we go. And just put some color in, and see the mountain now has a light just hitting it. And we're going to do the same here for the others, you know, make it a bit jagged. Just going to select them all here. There we go. And this one here is going to have something small there. This one's going to have some here. There we go. And this one too. And there we go. Bit of jaggedness. There we go. And just brush them in. Just brush them all in. There we go. And as you can see, your mountains now have some awesome lighting. Let me just fix this one here. I don't like how it's curved a bit. I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm just going to go into detail a bit, you know, like this. Just going to brush it back in. And I'm still using the lasso tool, nothing special, and I'm just brushing in with the brush tool. There we go. your mountains now have some really nice shading. And now we're going to make a layer in the background, and this is going to be our clouds, and we're going to use the lasso tool, you guessed it. And we're going to use this light color here. There we go. We're going to select that, and now just make shapes like this, you know, in the background. There we go. These are gonna be your clouds, and just brush them in. Just brush in the clouds, and there you go. You have your clouds. There we go. Obviously, you can do this more accurate. I'm just trying to go for speed and hopefully retain quality here, you know. Just gonna go here and put some of these clouds. There we go. We have some nice clouds in the background. We got our nice landscape here. Now let's pass on to the trees. So for the trees, you don't actually need to go and download some brushes, because you can make your own in Photoshop CC. If you don't have Photoshop Creative Cloud CC, then feel free to just go and search DeviantArt, for example, and just download some brushes. Let's make a new layer, since this is Photoshop CC, and then make a selection with your rectangular marquee tool. Select the whole area, and then right click, and then fill. And here, select pattern, and then doesn't matter what custom pattern you have. And the blending mode, normal, opacity 100, then go to scripted patterns, and then select tree, and click OK. And you're going to get into a panel now where you can actually make your own trees. Now I set here, I'm just going to disable these for a second. They're disabled by default, you know. You can make any trees you want. There's sakura trees, there's ficus, there's shrubs, palm trees, whatever you want. For this, I'm going to use a pine tree, yeah? I'm going to use the pine tree. And the good thing is that each time you generate a tree, it's different, you know? It's random. Now, you need to make a brush, so it has to be all black, you know? So click on Use Custom Color for Leaves and select Pitch Black. And the same thing for the branches. Now we got the silhouette of a tree. And now just click on OK and wait. You can also change the light direction, but that doesn't affect a silhouette, you know? So just click OK and wait. Now this is going to take a bit, and just see you in a second. Okay, there we go. There's our tree. It worked out really, really well. And now we need to turn this into a brush. We need to have a white background. So just make a new background on top of your original background. A new layer, sorry, on top of your original background layer. And just fill it in with white. Pure white. And now just hide by clicking on the eyes of the layer. Everything else. Now go to Edit and define brush preset. And there you go. It gives you a brush. You have a brush. If I go into my brush tool right now, I have it. There we go. The last one. I can actually just paint trees now. I can select any color I want and just paint trees. You know, I can put some here, and this is really a time saver. Now we can delete this tree. We don't need it anymore, and just unhide all the layers and make a new layer on top. And this is going to be dedicated to we're going to make a new layer, you know, for each tree that we make here. Not each tree, each trees section, you know, because each of these layers will have their own trees with their own colors. So it's not going to work out if we make everything on one single layer. So we're going to start by making a new layer, you know, and this is on the first area here, the front area, no? We're going to hold Control and select these, and Control and G to group them. So this is going to be one, you know, and this is going to be the trees, there we go. And let's make this brush smaller, you know. You can also right click here and just make it smaller and bigger. And now we're going to play a bit with the shape dynamics and the general options of the brush, you know, so it fits, so we can just put it in nicely and smoothly. Because if I were to just click now, you know, let me just sample the color by holding Alt. I'm going to sample this color. This works, you know, I can just click around, but this is going to take a lot of time, so we need some scattering, you know. Thankfully, Photoshop does this really easily, so we just go on to our brush settings thingy here, and we click on the spacing and just drag it, make a bit more space, and go on shape dynamics and put the size jitter to about 100. And there we go. And now we are just going to start brushing around and just fill the area in with trees. There we go. You can definitely see the size jitter just kicking in, making smaller and bigger trees. And there we go. You can also delete some trees, You can grab your eraser tool. There we go. Oh, by the way, when you don't want to do this every time, because if you select another brush, it's going to reset the settings. So just go here with your brush selected, and then new brush preset. Capture brush size in preset. Okay, there we go. You don't have to capture the size if you don't want to. You can just make it bigger later, Now just grab your eraser tool and just click on the brush that you just made and just start erasing what you don't need, There we go. Where you don't want trees to be, make some space maybe in between. There we go. Over there. And grab your brush again and just brush it. There we go. I'm gonna make a smaller one right about here, There's not just big trees, there's also small ones. There you have it. So the first area, it's done. Now we can make a new layer on top of layer number 2. Hold Control, select them and group them. Group number 2. This is going to be our trees. And we're going to do the same again. Now I'm going to speed up the process a bit, but you guys know the drill. It's the same thing. So I'll see you in a bit. Check that out. That looks fantastic. I am quite satisfied with the result. If you find some imperfections, then feel free to just fix them, like this dot here, Just grab your eraser. Just grab a normal one. Maybe just grab this one. Just erase them, And it definitely feels like a forest. It definitely feels like something that I would want. You can also, for example, add a cabin somewhere, or some fire. Someone's making something, maybe some smoke around. Some white smoke coming and going up here, for example. And this guy, he did an awesome job. I like how he made this ranger watch tower thingy going on here. You can also add these birds here. There are bird brushes online. You can find them easily. Add anything that you want, basically. I want to make these trees a bit bigger here in the front. So if I'm going to change that, I'm just going to make a bigger brush, like this. And then I'm going to just put it here, make some bigger trees so it stands out more, so we're covering more area. There we go, just like that. There we go. Gonna make a big one here, there we go. Because I really like a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation. You can add more in the front too, and that looks pretty nice. I'm pretty satisfied with the result. Now you can obviously add more vegetation, more variations. You can add some more lighting if you want to the mountains, make it brighter, make it different colors, make it however you want. You can add people, for example. You can add planes, birds. You can make nighttime and just like give it a blue tone, for example. Just enjoy and have fun. You don't have to be super accurate with the lasso tool. Actually, it's pretty nice when you just experiment and stuff just comes out. So yeah, just have fun, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content. Check out the links in the description for all your graphic needs. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, where I post my recent work like concept art and recent manipulations that do not make it in a video. Alright, see you guys later.